Okay, we're back for part 2 of this lesson on writing a thesis statement. So when we left off with part 1, you were drawing a conclusion based on your notes that was a claim. So for example, your claim might be junk food should be banned from school vending machines. When you are looking at this claim, I want you to double check and make sure it's debatable. Is this actually an issue or a controversy that people would argue over? Can you in your head identify an opposite claim for this same topic? If you can, you're in good shape. Let's go to the next step. The next step is so easy. Don't make it harder than it is. You're going to find the green box and you are just typing the word because. So in this green box where it says number 2, type the word because. Don't do anything else. Okay, now that we've added that connector, we have finished writing the first part of our thesis statement. So if this is our thesis, the claim is in pink. Now we're going to move on to identifying our categories of evidence that we are going to use to prove our claim. Remember those categories of evidence, those points that we're going to use to prove our claim, those are going to become the topic sentence for your body paragraph. So when we're identifying this evidence, you are going to be summarizing for the reader how you're going to prove your claim. When you're coming up with these reasons or points that support your claim, you need to make sure that you're summarizing multiple pieces of evidence. You're not identifying one specific fact, but you're taking multiple facts and putting them together. When you come up with your supporting points for evidence, you need to make sure that you do have facts that prove those things. And then as we've already talked about, these supporting points are going to become topic sentences for your body paragraphs. So let's look at this example. We've already been here, but we are going back to our handout that you picked up. This is the first example. We said that this was the one about soda and vending machines. So based on this evidence, I drew a conclusion that said soda should be removed from school vending machines. Now I need to look at my evidence, and you're going to be looking at more than 3 pieces of evidence. You might have 12 or 15 pieces of evidence, and we're going to try and put the evidence into different categories. So when I look at my evidence, I have one about soda causes obesity. I have one about students are going to pick soda if given the opportunity, and one about how Michelle Obama thinks that selling soda undermines healthy habits. So I came up with soda contributes to childhood obesity. So I think this first piece of evidence explains that soda contributes to childhood obesity. And I know back in my notes, I have more pieces of evidence that support the idea that soda makes kids obese. And then this one says schools need to support parents' efforts to teach healthy habits. So if I look back at my evidence, I have a piece that talks about kids picking soda if given the choice, and Michelle Obama thinking that soda in schools undermines healthy habits. I think both of these ideas can be summarized with the idea that schools need to support parents' efforts to teach healthy habits. Let's look at another example. So we're moving on to the second example, and now we're coming up with supporting points for this one. So this is the one about teenagers and screen time. Remember, I drew a conclusion that watching TV has a negative impact on teenagers. Now I need to look at this evidence, and I need to come up with 2 general statements or 2 summaries that I can use to prove my claim. So as I look through this, I see something on ADHD, not playing sports or reading, and showing aggression. So if I take those 3 ideas and I try and summarize them, I can come up with the idea that it hurts teens academically. Okay, so diagnosed with ADHD, that would hurt you academically, and you're not playing sports and you're not reading. So if you have ADHD and you're not reading, that's going to hurt you academically. And then I was looking at this idea that teens are more likely to show aggression. So my second point is it makes teens more aggressive. And I'm going to hope that in my notes, I have other pieces of evidence that support the idea of aggression. And let's look at one last one. This is the one about newbies at boot camp. And I have the idea that they're forced to go to breakfast in their underwear, they're criticized, and that his big nose gets made fun of. So my conclusion, remember, was military boot camp is a humiliating experience. And I'm going to pause here, and I want you to think up what you might write for evidence summaries. So I looked at my evidence, and I summarized it into 2 points. I said they get teased. Okay, newbies get teased was one of the ideas I came up with. So I see that his big nose got made fun of, and the drill sergeants criticized their performance. So that's those together. I could summarize them as newbies getting teased. And then this top example, it says they're forced to go to breakfast in their underwear. Well, if I kind of summarize and generalize that, I could say they're forced to do embarrassing things. And I'm going to hope in my notes that I have other examples of embarrassing things newbies are forced to do. So are you ready? You're going to do this with your own evidence now. So you're going to go to your evidence, and you're going to try and put your evidence into 2 different categories. And in putting it into 2 different categories, you're going to come up with 2 reasons that support what you wrote in that pink box. So you have 2 reasons, and you are going to put 1 reason in 3A and 1 reason in 3B. And it should read something like contributes to childhood obesity. Okay, once you have done that, you are going to combine it all into 1 box. It should be really easy. You are not getting creative. You are not coming up with something new. In the teal box, you're taking the boxes above, and you are just literally copying and pasting them all into the teal box. So we should come up with something like junk food should be banned from school vending machines. That's from my pink box, because that's from my green box. It exposes students to unhealthy advertising. That's from my yellow box, and contributes to childhood obesity. And that's from my blue box. I'm literally copying and pasting them all into this teal box. If you've accomplished that, you are done for today, and you are in good shape to move on.